My next guest is an emotional intelligence coach for high level entrepreneurs. She helps them create more joy, impact, and income through the lens of emotional intelligence. Please welcome Ashley Rainsbarger. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Ashley. Ashley is an amazing coach that I've been following since I've started my business journey online. She's just been incredible. I've been in her group. I've been following her for so long, and I've just been so inspired by her energy, her light, everything she's all about. And I'm so excited to interview her today. Hello, Ashley.
Thank you, Anna. I'm so excited to be here. I think that you are incredible. I have loved watching you grow. I love your energy, and I really love the message that you are putting out into the world. So thank you so much for having me here.
Yay. Well, thank you. Okay, so let's jump right in. I know you are an emotional intelligence coach. Can you talk more about what that is exactly and how you help people?
Yeah, definitely. So, emotional intelligence is all about creating a higher level of awareness around your emotions and the way in which you use those emotions to make decisions, whether it's in your life or it's in your business.
Mm-hmm.
The work that I do with my clients really touches all areas of relationships, of wellness, of business and success that they are working towards creating. And it's really about not letting those emotions get in the way of what it is
Mm.
that we're trying to create, but allowing an awareness of those emotions and where they come from inform what it is that we're trying to create in life and business.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. And I mean, I guess it's something that we don't always think about, but that it's so important in our own growth.
Yes, it's so true because, I mean, we're really, for the most part, humans are operating from a subconscious
Yeah.
pattern, right? And so, if we're not really aware of what that subconscious program that's happening in the background, if we're not aware of how that shows up for us, then ultimately it often will sabotage what it is that we're trying to do. So, we're trying to create an awareness around that so that you can make more logical decisions around what it is that you're working on creating.
Oh, so good. So tell us, what are you creating right now? What's your vision for the future?
Yes. I've been thinking about this a lot, especially recently.
Yeah.
And I like to be like vulnerable with my own audience and telling them that, the reason that I'm so passionate about this is because I've really just noticed how like trauma in my background has really
Mm-hmm.
informed who I am and how it's gotten in the way of my own success. And so for me, like at this point right now, I'm giving myself permission to use the skills that I have and use what I know to help a higher level entrepreneur and to speak
Mm-hmm.
to higher level problems. So I'm just working on being really consistent, really being really committed in my message. I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on giving myself permission to talking to people who are doing incredible things like yourself in the
Mm-hmm.
world. And just knowing that this kind of work, like this deep inner work, is extremely transformational.
Mm.
And just, really believing that at a higher level.
I love your mission. I love what you're all about. So thank you so much for doing this type of work. I feel like it's so needed right now.
Thank you. I really think it is too. We talk a lot about, especially in the coaching industry, there's a lot of like cookie cutter programs. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like talking about getting certain outcomes and certain results, but people have a hard time understanding like the kind of transformation that a deeper kind of work can create when you have that awareness of how you're showing up in life and business.
So I'm really curious, like growing up, did you imagine you'd be doing what you do today?
Oh my goodness, no. In fact, in fact, I have a friend that, I wouldn't say she like makes fun of me, but she's like she plays around with me and she just cannot believe that I do what I do
Yeah.
because I was so introverted. And again, like I come from a background of like poverty, addiction, and abuse, and I was just grew up very introverted. I grew up believing my voice didn't really matter. I grew up trying
Mm,
to hide in the background, not drawing the attention to myself. And so it was a very big shift in perception as
mhm,
far as who I am and where I came from. And really coming to a place where I believed that, hey, like you have this superpower. It's really incredible. Despite all the things that had happened in my life, I
mhm,
still was able to achieve a lot. I had a lot of wisdom. I had a lot of experience, and like
mhm,
coming to a place where like I really owned that, and I knew like it's okay for me to show up on social media. It's okay for me to say like, hey, this is what I think, this is my wisdom, this is my advice. It's okay for me to
mhm,
talk to people who maybe make more money than me, who have more success than me. Like
mhm.
it's okay for me to be me. It's okay for me to be visible. Like that wasn't easy coming from the
Mm.
background that I come from.
Oh my gosh. So tell us more about that. Like how did you break through those limiting beliefs and those challenges?
Such a good question. I think it was never really like a magic bullet. It wasn't a magic fix. I would say that
Mhm.
I've always had a superpower in emotional intelligence. I've always been told I was more mature than other people. I've always been told that, hey, that's like pretty smart for your age, like for you to know that. That's always been something that's been said
Mhm.
to me often. I worked a lot of jobs that I didn't like, and I knew from an early age that I wasn't very good at having a boss. And eventually I read I think I was listening to this audiobook. It was audio and I wasn't reading it. It was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And she really
Oh my
just,
gosh, yeah.
isn't that a great one?
Yeah, I
Uh,
love it.
it was just something about that book that really lit a fire under me. It made me like, it like solidified this idea that, if you want your life to be different, if you want to have a new job, a new career, a new situation in your relationship and your wellness, like you have got to make the decision to do that. You've got to stop letting your emotions get in the way of what it is that you want to create. And
Mhm.
so like that really hit home with me, and it really brought on the idea of coaching and how, hey, like even though I've been through so much in my own life, I'm actually really good at I'd probably be really good at helping other people work through things that are happening in their experiences. It started there, but also it started with like the bravery of making that decision of deciding that I could be a
Mm.
coach, right? But then,
Mhm.
I had to invest in myself a lot. I invested in other mindset coaches. I invested in people who, I got really interested in energy work and how it's
Mhm.
not just mindset, it's not just strategy, but it's a, there's energies within the body that need to be worked with, that need to be moved.
Mm.
And so it really just was a willingness to believe that I could do more, that I could be more. And it also was a ton of just investing in myself, investing in my growth, investing in my transformation.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so funny you talk about this. Like I've just invested in myself today. So it's
Oh
like
my
all
gosh,
aligned. It's like so good. Thank
congratulations.
you. So I want you to talk more about the energy work. It sounds so like mysterious, but I know it's like something so important. Like how do you actually begin to shift that energy?
Yeah, so that is a really interesting piece of it, and I would say it's one that not a lot of other, whether you identify yourself as a mindset coach or an emotional intelligence coach or something in that area, sometimes mindset isn't enough. Sometimes we actually,
Mhm.
people aren't even aware that we have to sometimes go deeper than mindset.
Yeah.
Because you can, and I think that it's so important to journal, to really like logically work out the things that you're struggling with, and that makes such a
Yeah.
huge improvement in the way that you view yourself and you view your world. But sometimes you can do all the logical work in the world and you still aren't
Yes.
going to be able to shift an underlying feeling of just negative energy that exists within the body. And when you take some time to really feel like, oh, I'm having a bad day. I don't feel like I'm good enough today. It feels like everything is really
Mhm.
hard today. You can take some time to really identify where those emotions, where those feelings live in the body. You can do some exercises that will actually help that energy to physically move out of the body. So it's not
Mhm.
just a logical thing. There are energies that have built up in the body over time because of all the trauma that we've experienced, because of all the people that told us we couldn't do it, because of all these negative thoughts and perceptions that we've had about ourselves and about the world around us. And so I've found that incorporating energy work as a modality within the subconscious growth work coaching that I do has been a huge help in just getting those things to move that haven't been willing to move before within our emotional system.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So much, you know. It's so, so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I
absolutely.
love
I
it.
love it. I could talk about it all day long.
So I'm very curious, like, what is your like greatest accomplishment? It can be in life, in business, anything. Like, what are you so proud of?
It comes down to just creating the very simple, happy, kind of calm, fulfilled
Hmm.
life that I've created so far. Because, my parents were alcoholics. There was a
Hmm.
lot of just chaos. I grew up around a lot of chaos. I didn't have a good example. I didn't have a good example
Hmm.
of who to be. I didn't have a good example of, you know, what it meant to face life with emotional intelligence. I didn't have any awareness. It doesn't even
Yeah.
really make sense that I am where I am. It doesn't make sense that I ended up in a relationship. My husband and I will have been married for 15 years this year. We have three beautiful
Wow.
kids.
Congrats.
The house that I live in, it isn't anything crazy, but when I was a kid, I would have thought the house that I was living in was a mansion. I would have thought that I would have thought that I was a rich person, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm just really proud of myself for, creating a stable home, for being in a loving relationship, and for, doing, such a better job than my own parents did, and
Yeah.
being able to leap as far as I have.
Yes, I love breaking generational traumas.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
relate so much to that. Like my dad was also an alcoholic and I get it so much. And I'm like, I'm gonna do better, you know?
Yes, there was, like, that determination, right? Like, I
Yeah.
this is not gonna be my life, and that's what drove me for a long time. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this, because I was very angry with my parents. But then it sort of once I did a lot of my own emotional work, once I created a lot of that awareness around myself, and it kinda turned into something different. It turned into, I don't want other people to have this pain. When it's
Mm,
pain that we don't have to have. And we're so unaware of how it affects the relationships that we're in, the amount of money that we're making,
yeah.
and the way in which we commit to our happiness and our success.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being so open, so vulnerable.
Yeah,
I just love it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want you to share one of your most like heartfelt testimonial or something that you experienced with a client that just left you like, wow, so fulfilled.
Oh my gosh. I think my most recent client is just a wonderful example of the kind of people that I love to work with. She has a very high performing job. It's in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And she does a little bit of entrepreneur work on the side. So it's not typically the kind of I usually work with entrepreneurs mostly. But she has shifted the place in which she lives. She has shifted the way that her
Wow.
relationship is working. She has shifted the way that she's parenting. She has shifted how much money she's making in the job that she's in the
Wow.
6 months that we have worked together. And it's we can always say, well, yeah, it's because of some of the things that I taught her and the conversations that we had. But also, it's the work that I do doesn't work unless my clients are willing to be open, unless they're willing
Mm,
to be honest, unless they're willing to take a deeper look at why they operate the way that they operate. And that takes strength, it takes courage, it takes a lot of bravery,
yeah.
to admit that, I don't want to do things this way anymore. I'm ready to stop being so stubborn. I'm ready to I'm ready to get out of my own way. I'm ready to have hard conversations. I'm ready to like admit what it is that I really want.
Yes. Oh, so much like self-awareness for sure.
Yeah, it really is.
Love it. Awesome. So I ask this to everyone who comes on the podcast, and I'm very curious to know your answer. What does being a powerful leader mean to you?
This is something that I've really asked myself too, especially as I identify with working with higher level people, higher level entrepreneurs. And I had to ask myself, what does it mean to be higher level?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's actually not at all related to money. I think that it is related to a person's like deep internal desire
Mm.
to build a life and business based on their mission and based on their values. So we're not striving just to make a profit,
Mm-hmm.
right? We are striving to make a difference. We're
Yes.
striving to, help people with something that we needed help with. And we're putting those people before our desire to make a sale. So I think
Yes.
that's really what makes a leader, somebody who is consistent and committed to their mission and to their values.
Oh, so good. I always say like your client like delivery work is so much more important than just getting another sale. Like take care of your own clients right now.
And people like really fail to realize like how much like that consistency, that commitment
Yeah.
to that mission and values. Not only is that going to bring you more business, but it's going to bring you better business. It's going
Yes.
to add to like the fulfillment that you feel internally, which is what we're all chasing ultimately, whether
Yes.
we're conscious of it or not. That's what is going to lead to like a life that you love.
Yes, for sure. Oh, I love this conversation so
Me
much.
too.
So, do you have, any last piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience today?
I think what's on my heart right now, it can be exhausting as an entrepreneur to work in the online space because we're not just trying to, put things out there into the world, but
Mm-hmm.
we are constantly consuming information.
Yes.
And I just want people to be more conscious of what it is that they are consuming. Invest your time, invest your money, and invest your energy in people who speak to your soul, not to people who speak to your shiny object syndrome.
Oh my God, yeah.
Even people who are helping you build business, like you, like even people who are talking about money, even
Mm-hmm.
people who are, talking about, having a tremendous amount of financial success. That's wonderful. But make sure they're doing it from a space of vulnerability, from openness, from,
Yes.
from the heart, because it's so easy to get sucked into just chasing the dollars, and that's not going to like get us anywhere that we're going to enjoy. It's not going to get you anywhere that you're satisfied with, even if you do create a ton of success, because you won't be satisfied with the way in which you got there.
Oh my gosh, mic drop. Honestly, I've been there, I've done that, and it wasn't fun. So listen to Ashley.
Oh, I have too, so many times. And that's the thing too, like remember that like we're going to make mistakes and we're going to continue to make mistakes. There's going to be new mistakes to make at every single level.
Yeah.
It doesn't help us to like blame and shame and guilt ourselves because of those mistakes. What matters is that you're reflecting on them, you're creating awareness around them, and that you're learning from them so you don't do it over and over and over again.
Yes, amen to that.
Yes.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. So, where can people go to connect with you further in the online space?
Yeah, absolutely. I am kind of working on my website right now, so the best place to connect with me would probably just be on Instagram. So you can go to at the Mindful Biz Coach on Instagram.
Yes, I love your Insta. So good.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much again for your time, for being here, for sharing from the heart space and doing the work you do. Keep being amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for having me here. I appreciate the work that you're doing in the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It was the best conversation ever.
thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.